Now, good morning to all of you in this online class. Dear student, today two chapters, basically first chapter of history will be discussed, right? It will be revised. Actually, the main technique that is going to be applied by me for your study, for giving you information as well as the knowledge through this online class is based on question answer pattern or technique. Today, only the objective questions will be highlighted in my class. So be sincere and learn the art how to make MCQ or short question answers by your own. Now, just after going through the book, any of you can prepare the important question answers by the help of your chapter and by the dint of your hard labor. Now let me to start. First of all, one new thing you have to learn, you have answered many times about the period of medieval India, medieval Indian history and the medieval European history. No doubt you have answered the question, what was the period of medieval India in our history or medieval Indian history? Which period is known as the medieval period in European history as well as Indian history? And you have given the answer, the 5th to 15th century CE is marked as the medieval period in India, and 8th to 18th century is marked as the what? Medieval period in Indian history, right? Indian history. 8th to 18th century in what? Medieval Indian history, right? And 5th to 15th is marked 5th to 15th is marked as the medieval history in Europe, right? In Europe. So this is the important question that you have to learn, right? The two questions you have learned. The period between 5th to 15th century C is known as the medieval period in Europe, and the period from 8th to 18th century CE marks the beginning and end of the medieval period in Indian history. Now, suppose if question comes, what is the period of ancient Indian history? Then how will you answer? Only two questions you have studied, you have read. Medieval period in Indian history and medieval period of European history. Now, some different type of question is asked. It traces out the period of ancient Indian history. Do you know? It is given in your chapter or not? If not, then how will you write? Do you think? Have you seen anywhere this knowledge is given in your chapter? Yes, it is given in your chapter. You see here, the period from historic time to 7th century CE is known as the ancient history of in India. Is it clear? So here not only two types of question, but three types of question can be formed. First, mention the period of ancient history, mention the period of medieval uh, Europe, and mention the period of medieval Indian history. Okay, so in this way, these are the important questions. Everyone, in how many times, in how many parts history is divided? It is divided only in three main parts or main period, three periods, right? And those are ancient, medieval, and modern. Is it clear? Now, next, we are studying about the periodization of history, I mean, different periods of history. But do you know how the historian has written history about these phases, about these periods? From where we get or they got information now, because without having sources of information, history cannot be written or anything cannot be written if you have no any source, right? If you want to write anything, any article, and if you have no source of information, you can't write. So we will learn about the sources of information. Have you understood? Actually, what happened? You know, the history is categorized into three periods. Why this type of categorization is done? It is why, because in different ages, different types of events had taken place that had changed the political, social, economic, and cultural scenario of that particular phase. So, to make the study of these different types of happenings or development, historians has divided history to make it convenient to study, to make the study of history convenient, I mean easy, it is categorized. Now, so many development took place in medieval period which affected almost all parts of the world as well as India, and we will study about these matters. Now, here it is why it is written because actually in ancient period our relation was not widened with other countries. Our relation was not with many foreign countries, no doubt. There were some foreign countries with whom our relation was there because of our trade. But just after, and just in the medieval period, we came in contact with various cultures, different countries, and it also influenced our society, custom, administration, economy, languages, religious beliefs, and so on and so forth. Now let me to say about the sources of information, right? Actually, there are different sources of information, right? There is different source of information. What are them? Actually, all these sources of information are basically divided into two categories. Those are called literary and archaeological findings. Archaeological findings. Here we have to learn what is the difference or what do you mean by literary and archaeological. Literature and archaeological finding. Literature means written documents, books, either prose, poetry, drama, no, biography, autobiography, traveling accounts, right? So all these type of written documents are known as literary sources or literature, and archaeological findings are those things which are excavated, which have been found by us by digging the earth, which gives us sufficient information about ancient ancient period, right? So this is called the archaeological findings. Here you should learn what is the meaning of archaeology. Archaeology is a science which studies the remains of the past. Generally, all these things are found out after excavations. I mean, digging the earth surface. Now, here we are talking about the two main sources of information, literature and archaeological findings. One by one, we will do. What are the examples of the literary uh, sources or literatures? Actually, here you see literature of the period consists what? Religious works and commentaries based on the Puranas and Smritis, right? Based on the Puranas and Smritis. We also got so many information about the social, economic, political, and military conditions from the literature or from the non-religious works in medicine, astronomy, drama, and drama and literature, etc. Right? All these are the sources of information. Have you understood? All these are the sources of literary literature or literary sources. Now, some books are also very important in this regard. For example, Prithvi Rajarasho, it was a great epic poem written by Chand Vardai, right? Chand Vardai. So this is very important question also. Who wrote Prithvi Rajarasho? Chand Vardai. Name the great epic written on Prithviraj Chauhan, Prithviraj Rasho. So all these. What is written, why it is important? Because it throws the light on the administration. It throws the light of administration on the people in North India during the reign of Prithviraj Chauhan. Right? So this is the important part. Now some other books written in Persian language, those are Tahqiq-e-Hind, right? Tahqiq-e-Hind, written by Al-Waruni, written by Al-Waruni, and Ain-e-Akbari, written by Abul Fazl, right? Abul Fazl. And in which language it is written? In Persian, right? In Persian it is written. Have you understood? Name some foreign visitors. Ibn Battuta. Okay. Next what? Marco Polo Bernier. Now, as we know, we have given you sufficient information about Ibn Battuta, Marco Polo, Bernier, etc. No doubt they were the foreign visitors and travelers. But if question comes from which country Marco Polo came to India, it is not in your book, but I have taught in your class, in online class. Now I am also telling you, actually Marco Polo was the inhabitant of Venice, Italy. He set for his journey in many parts of the world. He traveled many countries and he started to return. During the returning period, he came in China. And from China, he came to India. Right? From China, he came to India. Is it clear? All the important information are written, and actually all these are also the literary sources of information of medieval period. Now next important thing was the invention of paper, and this paper brought or encouraged the writing of records, right? If question comes, which are one of the following discoveries or invention or facts uh, have brought have brought uh, or encourage writing of records in medieval period. For example, paper, pencil, rubber, cutter, machine. So paper will be the very important and suitable answer. Not machine will not be, if machine will not is given. And actually, by the help of paper, many things were written, many feelings, expressions were written, many important informations were written, and all these records were collected by the rulers, temples, and monasteries. These are called the manuscript, and manuscript means all the handwritten things are known as manuscript. So this kind of information you can have to know. You have to know. Next is in which categories you will keep the excavated towns, sarais, and villages, in literary sources or archaeological sources. The correct answer will be archaeological sources. Have you understood? These things you learn. Now all these things, I'm sorry, you learn it here. Manuscript, handwritten text or document. Question can be set from the side also, because I have already informed you that you should learn all the keywords given in your chapter or in key notes or as a keywords. Manuscript means handwritten text or documents, right? Question may be asked, what is called to handwritten text or documents? And different options will be given. You have to select the suitable one. Next, what is called to the inns for travels? What were called to the inns for travelers in medieval period? Correct answer will be sarais. Or what were sarais? They were the inns for travelers, I mean rest house, right? In those days, the kings used to build rest houses on the way, on the roads, beside the roads, after 5 kilometers gap or more than this one, or 2.5 kilometers gap, so that the tired travelers can take rest. Now next is scribe. Who is a scribe? A person who copied out documents is known as a scribe. Question can be asked, what is called to a person who copied out a documents? And you will have to write scribes. As far as matter is concerned, with your objective questions given in your chapter, especially in your exercise, had already been done. So there is no need to, if you have no need to revise, because 2-3 times we have revised. In spite of it, if you have any problem, you can ask me, right? You can ask me. Let me to stop it, and here, okay, let me to allow the students to come in the site.